Assalamu alaikum student, this is your course instructor Aisha Sadiq from Department of English, University of Southern Punjab. It's our third lecture, and in this lecture we will discuss Baptist Sidwa's Cracking India, that was originally published as Ice Candy Man, as it offers a deeply personal account of the partition of India in 1947. Through the innocent gaze of Lani Sethi, the story vividly portrays the communal tension, violence, and profound human cost of historical event. In this lecture, we will explore the novel's summary, its central characters, and how Sidhwa masterfully intervenes individual lives in the larger tragedy of a divided nation. Baptist Sidhwa acknowledged Pakistani American novelists like Cracking India's main character Lani Sethi Sidhwa grew up in Lahore, and like Lani, she suffered from polio as a child, and her family was part of Lahore's small Parsi community. This experience of watching Lahore transfer from part of British rule India to a city in an independent Pakistan, this informed Sidhwa's novel. So Cracking India takes place between 1943 and in 48 in the city of Lahore and the surrounding countryside. When the novel begins, Lahore, a city is British rule in India in 1947, it became part of a new nation of Pakistan. When the British left India, they split it up into two countries, India and Pakistan. This event led to much violence, bloodshed, and known as partition. This novel tells the story of a partition from the perspective of Lani Sethi, who is 4 when the novel starts. She lives at the time of partition, and she saw the violence from a rise. Lani, a smart young girl who is sick with polio, her family is upper middle class and lives in a firmly wealthy neighborhood of Lahore. The city is populated by the majority of Muslims, but there are also many Hindus, Sikhs. Lani's family, however, they are called Parsi. This is a small religious minority in India. And it gave the introduction. Lani has a tight-knit family composed of her mom and dad, brother, Adi, aunt, cousin, godmother, and there are other characters that are living and working there, like the cook Imam Deen, who work as a sweepers and odd job man and nanny. Lani is very close with her ayah, the local word for nanny. Thanks to ayah, Lani known as a wide variety of adults from Lahore's poor and working classes. Most of these are the suitors of ayah, who is known to attract men all over the Lahore because of her beauty. These suitors include a cook, a masood, a zoo attendant, a knife sharpener, a money lender, and a popsicle seller known as Ice Candy Man. This group include Muslims, Sikhs, and Hindus. Thanks to them, Lani gets insight into the different religions and the culture that make up India before partition. Aya's love life also introduces Lani to sexuality. She begins to understand the sexual power that women hold, but also how to control men. Historical events are constantly influencing Lani's private life and domestic life. At home with Aya, suitors, and at the Parsi temple, she hears adults constantly talking about politics. When the novel began, there is a news that World War II is over. India, which was still British colony, sided with the Allies against Germany, Italy, and Japan. Once the war is over, people begin wondering what will happen to India. Indian leaders like Gandhi and Muhammad Ali Jinnah have been pushing for Indian independence from the British, and self-ruled Gandhi visits Lahore, and Lani gets the chance to meet him. Like the adult, she begins to wonder what will happen to India when and if the British leave. There is a talk of a separate Muslim majority country, Pakistan, being formed. Lani notices religious differences becoming more and more important. When the novel begins, Hindus, Muslims, and Sikhs get along in a relative pace. However, in India moves closer independence in 1947, it started to fighting. In the city too, things are changing. Lani begins seeing the people around her less as individual and more people belonging to a separate religious communities. Aya is Hindu, as in the family gardener Hari. Imam Deen and the odd job man Yusuf are Muslim. So too are Ice Candy Man and Aya's favorite suitor Masood. The zookeeper Sher Singh is Sikh. Each group has his own way of dressing, eating, and whispering. As the relation between these communities get worse, Lani becomes more and more aware of their differences. When a Sikh political and religious leader visits the city and threatens the Muslim there, violence breaks out. People start lighting fires and killing each other. In 1948, The British officially leave India and split the country into India and Pakistan. Overnight, Lahore becomes a part of new nation of Pakistan. Leni is mostly concerned that this is happening on her birthday and no one is paying attention to her. Yet the political situation begins to be serious. Hindus and Sikhs begin leaving Pakistan for India. Similarly, some of the Muslims in India begin leaving for Pakistan. On the both sides, many of these groups are forced out through violence. Others are killed while trying to escape. In 3 months, 7 million Muslim and 5 million Hindus have Sikhs are part of this exchange of population. As the group fights, Leni sees fire breaks out all over Lahore. One day, a train comes carrying Muslim refugees from India. Ice Candyman finds that they have been murdered and mutilated. In revenge, he joins the mobs attacking Hindus and Sikhs or robbing at their abandoned properties. This story reaches a climax when a mob comes to the Sethi household from their name. This mob assume they will Hindus. Imam Din comes out to protect the house and tells angry mob that this is a Parsi household to save them. Yet the group wants to know what happened to the Hindu nanny Aya, goes to hide her knowing that she might be kidnapped and raped. Her suitor Ice Candyman comes up to Leni to ask where she is hiding. Leni, who has a bad habit of always telling the truth, whatever the consequences, thinks she can trust Ice Candyman, but he gives her the crowd. They carry Aya away on a cart. One day, cousin spots Aya in a taxi with two thin men who look like poets. Thanks to godmother's help, who has a lot of influence and knowing seemingly everyone in the city, they find out the Aya in living in the city's red light district. Ice Candyman first made her work on a prostitute before marrying her and making her convert in Islam. Grandmother wants to help Aya, who is now being called Mumtaz. First, grandmother invites Ice Candyman. He is new, dressed as a poet and like a gentleman, reciting poetry and speaking politely. He claims that he loves Aya and that he married her to protect her. Grandmother calls him a pimp and a lowlife. Eventually, she and Leni are able to visit Aya in the brothel neighboring to the city. Aya begins to leave and saying he will go to India even if her family won't accept her. Eventually, grandmother convinces the police to force Aya to back to India. Recovered women's camp and Sethi house. Ice Candyman transformed into a wrong lover. One day, Aya is finally transferred to India and Ice Candyman escapes across border to her. And as for the characters is concerned, the main character is Leni Sethi, who is innocent and profoundly perceptive lens through which the story is told. As a 4-year-old Parsi girl afflicted with polio that leaves her with the limbs in her leg braces, Leni embodies vulnerability and physical constraint, yet her mind is keenly observant and surprisingly honest. Central to her world is the character of Aya, Shanta. Aya serves as Leni's anchor, her widow, to the vibrant, diverse world of the Lahore and figure of comfort and stability. Their relationship highlights theme of intercommunal harmony that are tragically shattered by the partition. Leni's physical limitation and her reliance on Aya amplify her unique perspective. She is often a passive observer of internal processing of the events. Her narrative voice is a testament to Sidhwa's skill in portraying a child understanding of an adult world engulfed in catastrophe, making the story heartbreaking and deeply insightful. Next one is Aya, the beautiful nanny. Aya, whose real name is Shanta, is an 18-year-old Hindu girl from Amritsar. Her striking beauty and gentle nature make her an object of admiration and affection from numerous suitors of different religious backgrounds, symbolizing the pre-partition communal harmony. Her tragic fate and betrayal from stand as one of the most harrowing episodes. Her abduction, forced conversion, and eventual rescue, symbolizing the immense violent displacement and betrayal that innocent individuals, particularly women, endure during this period. Her story profoundly impacts Leni's and observes devastating human cost of communal hatred. Next, we have Ice Candy Man, a charming hero who is arguably the most complex and disturbing character in Cracking India, embodying the moral decay and gripped society during the partition. Initially, he appears one of the Aya's many charming and persistent tutors, Muslim vendor who peddles sweets and lightened banter. His early interactions are marked by wit and playful rivalry with other admirers, making him seeming up relatively harmless. But Ice Candyman represents the fractured communal relationship at the time. His betrayal of Aya Wom is one professor's love, symbolizing the larger betrayal among the communities that had once lived side by side. He's a stark reminder that the violence of partition was not just external but also deeply personal. His character forces reader to confront the dark side of human nature and that emerge when social structure collapse and survival becomes intertwined with exploitation and cruelty. He is the novel's most potent symbol of the era's profound moral decay. Then we have Seti's family, grandmother, and Seti's family belongs to the Parsi community, followers of the religion and a religious minority in India. Their privileged yet vulnerable position is heightened. They strive to maintain neutrality and distance themselves from the escalating communal tension, a stance that becomes increasingly difficult as the violence intensifies. Their home serves as a temporary refuge for Hindu and Muslim friends. Then we have the character of Godmother Rhoda. She is affectionately known as Godmother, is a formidable and a wise person in Lanny's life and a pillar of strength for the family. She embodies resilience and moral attitude. Her practical wisdom and unwavering courage are instrumental, particularly in the harrowing circumstances following Aya's abduction. It is her relentless efforts and determination that lead to Aya's rescue and a moral compass in a world gone awry. Other characters include Mesor. Mesor is another Aya's Muslim admirer and representing the complex web of personal relationship that existed across religious. Like Ice Candy Man, he is smitten by Aya's beauty and seeks her affection. His presence highlights the competing loyalties and desires among the men who frequent park where Aya takes Lenny. However, unlike the Ice Candy Man, his character doesn't undergo the same dramatic moral degradation, offering a contrast of the responses of individual to the escalating communal divide. Then we have the Imam Deen. Sati's family is loyal and long-serving Muslim cook. We have the character of Nana, Imam Deen's great-grandson, who saw the brutality of the episode of partition. Cracking India masterfully blends intimate storytelling with historical reality, making the partition profoundly felt. Bapsi Sidhwa's genius lies in her ability to filter the complex and devastating historical event and making us see it through the eyes of Lenny, a child, and witness just the abstract political cracking of a nation, but the visceral, heartbreaking cracking of lives of families and communities. Her experiences highlight the loss of innocence, both personal and national, as the once harmonious society of Lahore descends into sectarian violence and chaos. The novel doesn't go away from the bitter truth and the realities and the rust honestly that amplifies their impact. So student, this was all about the today's lecture, the story, the plot of the Cracking India and the major central characters. In the next lecture, we will discuss about the major themes that constitute the narrative of Cracking India. Till then, thank you. Allah Hafiz.